the NBA. All right, so we'll talk about this matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. So pretty much, I'm gonna go around the horn, fellas. First off, what is the storylines to watch in this NBA Finals series? What you got, Tony?
I'm gonna be as diplomatic and as respectful as I can be with this, big bro. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown got to get they got to get the damn job done. You know, as much as I love Luka, I love what Dallas got going on over there. Um, I think the pressure is on Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. You know, now here's the thing though, it's like a catch-22 because between Luka, the Jays, Kyrie, I love all these guys. I got 4 dogs in the race, so whoever wins, I'm gonna be happy. But the point of the matter is, if we talking basketball, we talking NBA. This is the Boston Celtics, what, fifth, sixth, strike at it, and their second time on the biggest stage. We can go with the storyline. You know, Kyrie going back to Boston, that's interesting. Luka, got an opportunity to repeat history. You know, do something that Dirk did. You know, taking down some of the top teams in the West, and then an opportunity to go at the juggernaut in the East. Luka can literally repeat history because this is exactly what Dirk did in 2011. But when it comes down to the gist of it, I think if the Jays don't get it done, um, we talking about a team that's about to break up. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jalen Brown get moved, or I don't think the Boston Celtics would come off Jason Tatum, just respectfully. But I think they would come off Jalen Brown, trade him away. And I would hate to see that because I feel like the Jays had that same kind of story arc as Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan as far as 2 wing players being organically drafted to an organization, going through the ringer, different iterations of the team. These 2 dudes have seen it all. So ultimately, I'm the storyline I'm looking at anyway, bro, is can the Jays get it done? Because I didn't lost so much money on these Boston Celtics the last 5 years. I can't afford to do it no more, man. I need them to get the job done.
Word. Basically, same here. Like everything you saying, I'm a rather since you went that way, I'm a go Kyrie. You know what I mean? Like this would be a great story, B.
Yes.
You know, when I first got on this show, I didn't understand why he left. You know what I mean? Like why he left. And everybody said, well, he was gonna get traded, and I was like, I don't think Brown was gonna let him get traded. You know what I mean? And then was it Jerome came on the team, and he's a Duke guy, right? Ain't your high school homeboy coach named Jerome? He's a Duke guy, and he was like, man, Kyrie, and then play no defense. And then he left, and then I said, Coach, he said, well, he said he wanted to be his own man. Well, the good and bad with that is you got to go through all those trials and tribulations to be that, and I think it'd be a historical story for Kyrie to win a chip, just like when Kobe did, because Kobe had to do some humbling too before he got his chip. And I think it would be a great story because, and it all goes together because even though that wasn't the Kobe that he was talking about, I think it was the Kobe with the president or something of the Cavs or something like that. I just think that would be great, man. Out of all the negativity, all the canceling, him losing the Nike deal, and all these different things to being healthy through the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, some games 12 and just taking the back seat and say, because I felt like, what's he doing? And I was like, well, maybe he maturing himself and pushing when he need to be, because even in that Timberwolves game, I remember that when he started pushing himself, he started driving harder to the basket. So that's what I'm around. I think that's the biggest. I think for me, that's the biggest storyline. Plus what you said, Tony. I think that's one. Definitely. One more I'm gonna throw out there is Porzingis and Luka. Porzingis is the one that went on the podcast and was saying that him and Luka can get along, and he called him a baby. So I think that those are some stories. Some more there, but I think those probably the main ones.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so I think mine's obviously carried back to Boston. Kristaps Porzingis is cleared to play for Game 1 for the Celtics. Could they win title number 18?
Right.
You look at this. I look at it's the battle of duos. Obviously, you got like you said in Dallas on the end, you got Luca, Kyrie. Then you got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. So it's a battle of duos. And honestly, I think this is the ultimate battle of the face of the league. You look at it where you look at if Luca wins, I know a lot of people are gonna look at him as the odds-on favorite to be the face of the league. And then also if Jason Tatum wins, and obviously he'll if you're a hell of a summer, you win you win a championship, you get your money, and then you might be deemed as the face of the league. So it's gonna be very interesting 2 weeks to say the least, and it'll definitely help kind of set the stage. Definitely, I think I look at it. Even I think about the Olympics, like as far as like I mean even thinking about the Olympics, even 6 months maybe. Well, yeah, almost about 6 months away. I mean, 6 weeks away. My bad, 6 weeks away. So you look at it. So I definitely think that's going to be a good. Whoever wins this probably had to face the league, especially if one of them wins the MVP for sure.
I think that's a great point, Coach. Mom, I want to cook on that Kyrie story a little bit more because it's funny how the stars are lining up, as far as Kobe being his mentor, Kobe having, like you said, having to go through that same 7-year journey, in between his championships. If you think I already have Kyrie in my top 10, point guards, but I think he gets a little slighted because of, the crucifixion he went through the media. Do y'all think this would put him in the top 5, top 10 conversation as far as point guards go, if he's able to vindicate his legacy with this championship?
All time.
All time. Because I always notice when people do their top 5 all time, it's a kind of a bias there, but I never hear Kyrie in the mix, and we can't say he the best ball handler and the most skilled player we ever seen.
How old is he?
Turn around and not give him his flowers on the top 5 list or top 10 list.
How old is he?
31.
He's 31. I think it would probably be once he win, it'd be whispers. Let's say that. Because I always said they've always said great things about him, and he is remarkably nasty. You know what I mean when he on the court. I think some of the stuff he say PR wise, he would mess himself, and he speak well. That's what's crazy. You know what I mean?
Sounds just like Kobe.
He speaks. I think it would be okay. He's gone. He's on his way, because that would be 2. He got some finals, and I think they would. Because I think this is his maturity. I think this is his true graduation. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? That you're gonna really like. I was watching something today. They was like when Kobe was 8, he was 8. But once he got 24, when he became 24, that's when they start comparing him to Jordan. You know what I mean? And I ain't never look at it like that. And I think. I'm telling you, I think once if he was to win, I think it's going to say they have to talk about him differently. Yeah. They have to. For me, I'm not being biased either. I think I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna look at him a little differently. Of him being a point guard, he played more like a 2. You know what I mean? I think now he's playing more like a point guard. You know what I mean? Because in some games he only got like 12 points. You know what I mean? And even his assists is still not even that well. So definitely, but I just say you say point guard, I would definitely look at him as a differently as a player. Okay.
I'm not there yet. I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't quite there yet.
Right.
I mean, when you think about the historical significance on, as far as I look at it, I mean, I think about other point guards like John Stockton, Oscar Robertson, CP3. You can almost put him in that same boat like Allen Iverson. I'm already named like 5 guys already. He can get there. He has a possibility. I think he would definitely. I think he's probably the most skilled ball handler. Pause. In the league.
I gotta do it. Man, that was crazy.
No Diddy.
That was crazy. Wow.
I mean, as far as
wow for that one.
I think that's one thing. I think when you look at it from that standpoint, Oh boy.
Greatest ball
But
handler ever.
yeah, so
Oh.
I gotta clip that audio. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But I didn't mean it like that. But anyway, but all right, I gotta reel it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite there when it comes to like as far as the top 10 per se. He's I would make a case maybe for like top 25, top 20. I think he's there. I mean, and I think and plus he still have a lot to as far as his career. So I think that's one thing too. I think I want to keep in the factor too, because I think if he wins some more rings and he gets there, so pretty much that one. So I do want to kind of go into some of the comments. So and this is an interesting one. So shout out to D Clue now over under how many times Kyrie and this and we say it in a jokingly way, but I mean it's we are well aware of the terrain that happens in Boston, so it's not like a you know we know that this is very possible. This is distinct. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a distinct possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say about 4-5 times at least.
I'm
That's probably
hoping.
David Portnoy and let me stop.
I know that Kyrie has a. Well, he's been back to Boston a few times, and it wasn't nice to him. So I doubt him coming back.
All right, and it'll be the NBA Finals.
Yeah, it's blood in the water. It's like winner take it all. So over under, I'm giving him 9. I'm gonna go. No, let's go with 11. I think he can.
11. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 11 because Boston is cruel, man. They didn't got under LeBron's skin a couple times. So
right. Yeah. Any thoughts on him out?
Oh, I don't know, about 10. You know what I mean? He gonna be all right, man. Like, he gonna be all right, man. Like, he already know what to look forward to. And I don't know, like I just seen more maturity this this playoffs anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
overcome it, but yeah, just the fact. Oh my bad. Yeah, it's just like you said. It's the unfortunate part of it where it's like we know he's gonna get it. As far as but we know that he's gonna essentially, have this problem. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
like all the stars did.
Yeah, a few more comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's NBA Finals, so it's a little bit more hype. Mm-hmm. I think that's why that's where the question really kind of came from in a sense, because obviously it's the NBA Finals. This isn't a regular season game in June, not June, but in January. So
let me throw this in real quick. I would think Kyrie gonna be okay. I think Luka gonna be the one. I think Luka is the emotional, young, unexperienced one that need to focus. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I put on later on the show. I think he's gonna be the one if the crowd was to get to him. You know what I mean? I think he may be the one.
Yeah.
Can I follow that up? I'm sorry, before we get right back to that. I see. I was a Luka critic when this playoff started. Now, I think Luka got that Kobe Jordan. Once you start yapping at him, he gonna
I think
he gonna get hot.
I think he do too.
You may not want to talk crap to him. You know what I mean? Let him just, if you're having a good night, bad night, just salute.
But they're gonna be physical, and they're gonna let Boston be physical to him too. Yeah. It's the Boston Celtics in the finals, man. It's a different animal. Yeah.
Yeah, he proved it. So also a few more comments. Definitely shout out to our guy Carlton Canteen NBA. Yes, Boston by 20 tomorrow night. Hey,
crazy.
We know Boston got a tendency to either they're gonna blow you out, they're gonna get blown out. They very rarely have close games.
Oh wow.
For sure. And then also calls again to our previous topic. Stephen A. Smith got cooked, man. So
Bad.
I made Monica McKnight.
Oh
Oh,
man,
who is Monica? I was like, whoa, double down, Stephen A. Smith.
That's what I was saying, bro.
That's
Just
right,
take your
Stephen.
L, fam. Take your L.
Take your L, bro. Like he said,
Y'all see what
yo,
you see
that
what
was
Jamel?
wild. I was like, yo,
Did you see what Jamel Hill tweeted about that Stephen A.
yeah,
rant? Yeah, and I never agree with Jamel Hill. Very rarely.
yeah.
She get hot sometimes, but I was like, damn, you're right on the money with that one. Stephen
I'm
A.
saying
Wow.
it was a lose situation. You know that too. Like, man, hey, man, just be quiet.
Yeah,
Just be quiet. Yeah, man. Hold your L.
yeah. Must be quiet, right? Because you don't tell somebody that you made them. Come on now, come on now.
Black
Let's be
queen
smart
too, man.
about it. Let's that
We talking about a black woman on TV.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
And one thing, and they might not even like each other. You okay?
But they're bad against each other for sure. They make you look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we gotta talk about our players to watch in this series. So what are some players to watch for you, and who you got your eyes on in this matchup? Tony, what you got?
I got three names, big bro. It's kind of like the others that Shaq, he always calls the role players the others. For Dallas, I'm gonna go. I'm actually got 5 names because it's just rounding off the starting lineups essentially. PJ Washington for Dallas, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
the young rookie Derek Lively. Can he keep up? His historic run. He out there looking like a young Tyson Chandler, and of course, one of the more interesting matchups I think is going to be Porzingis' skill versus Daniel Gafford's athleticism. Because Porzingis injured, that calf may come into play. But if the Boston Celtics can slow down the court and slow down the game, then I don't think the athleticism would be as much of a factor as it was against Minnesota in the OKC series. And on the Boston side of the ball, it's the front court, because we all know Luka and Kyrie. They giving Stephen and Clay a run. That's my greatest backcourt. I say they get a little bit close to giving Isaiah and Joe Dumars a run for the one of the best duos ever. But can Derek White and Drew Holiday live up to their perimeter defensive reputations? Because if you're gonna earn your money, man, you're gonna be one of those quote unquote elite defensive perimeter defenders. This is the time to show it, because you got two of the greatest closers in NBA history, and they hot, So they're just those 5 guys kind of rounding out the starting lineups, for each team. Mainly PJ Washington. I'm looking at him. He was, scoring on a historic clip, in these previous series. He kind of disappeared a little bit against Minnesota, just sort of he had to stick a little bit more defense on Ant-Man, but against OKC, he was putting up 20, 25 a night. So they're going to definitely need him. And then, like I say, on the other side, that perimeter defense for Boston.
Sure. What you got, Mel?
Oh man, I agree with a lot of stuff what Tony was saying. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna keep it short with Boston. D. White and Holiday just stay consistent and be impactful towards against the Pacers. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if you really pay attention to that Pacers series, the Pacers could have easily won, but I think their anxiety towards the end of the game, I think they beat themselves with a lot of the stupid turnovers, the coach not understanding that they were young and guiding them. Because to me, Rick Carlisle was the star player on that team, because he has the oh man, he has the knowledge. He'd been there before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there was like 2 games he could have did a timeout, and then Holiday ended up, I think, Holiday stole the ball, I think, both times, and then the one where Halliburton dribbled off his foot twice.
Yeah.
And I got Jaylen Brown just stay confident in his aggressiveness, like hitting those 3-pointers at the end of the game. That you know what I mean. The one that sent it in, wasn't it an overtime game?
Yeah.
Was it like game 1? Like, you know what I mean? So for the Mavs, like, I think when the Mavs made that trade, they've always been scary to me. So, like, we all know what Kyrie, we all know what Luka can do, but D Jones, Gafford, Lively, I think even Maxey coming back because against that Clippers game, he got like what 17 points in 19 minutes, and it's 4 games. So even if he had some off games, that one game was just that's what they needed. So and he's 6'10", Gafford's 6'10", and then PJ Washington, and then I was looking at Boston's bench, and then I looked at the Mavs bench, and on their bench, they still got Powell, they still got Tim Hardaway Jr. and Markieff Morris, and I'm like, they might be a key into some of these in some of these games. So those are the players I got to watch. You know what I mean?
Good point.
I think Dallas, and to your point, Maxi Keebler, I think he's the one definitely. He's going to be, I think, potentially be a problem for Al Horford potentially, and Porzingis potentially. I know they probably have him at the 4 coming off the bench, so he'll be there to kind of. He's mobile, he'll kind of create some floor spacing for the Mavs. So, and I think he can kind of disrupt that front court of Boston potentially, in spurts. I think, except for PJ Washington, I'm really curious how he's going to bounce back. Because obviously, as you talked about it, Tony, that series against Minnesota where he was non-existent, but in OKC series, it was like he was lights out. I think one of those games he had almost 30 points. I think he had like 29 points in one of those games. So you look at that, and the help of Derek Lively, the second, where you look at obviously he had that neck sprain, and then it looked like a similar play in that closeout game, but he ended up being fine. So it's kind of one of those where I want to see how he goes against. Also, too, how they're gonna kind of throw him, PJ, Daniel Gafford, all those guys, and Keebler together to kind of get that front court to see what's going to happen there. And obviously, the duo with Kyrie and Luka. I think on Boston, I think obviously without the duo, we all know about the duo. I think it's Drew Holiday and Derek White because they're gonna be the ones who are gonna be summons to potentially stop this backcourt. So it's kind of one of those where I think they will be very, this is be a definitely different series compared to the Indiana series. So you want to see what these guys are gonna do. And I think what they said, I think Drew was in the press. I think either the day or yesterday. And they asked him what he's going to do as far as guarding Kyrie and what have you. He said, I'm going to pray. So, it's one of those where, from that situation where I think that's probably was the best answer in a sense as far as the strategy when it comes to potentially guarding Kyrie Irving. So, yeah, I look at those. They'll be kind of key if, the players will watch as far as I want to see how they will react defensively to Kyrie and Luka.
I like that. That's a good point, man. I'm almost kind of scared for Boston, man. If Kyrie and Luka look like they did against the Timberwolves, the only advantage I think the Boston Celtics have is they have more bodies they can throw. Because Minnesota only really had McDaniels and Anthony Edwards, and they needed Anthony Edwards to be they scorer. I think Boston has an advantage as far as personnel, having more people, but. Man, Luka and Kyrie will cook whoever you throw at them. It ain't like you got an answer there,
right? And that's gonna be like the scary proposition, especially in this matchup, because we all know if they both go off, you stand no chance in hell. Look at what happened in the Minnesota series. Like when they had them down nights, they had chances, and I think and they still was even in the game, even when they struggled. So. The Boston Celtics will win their 18th championship if they do this. What you got, Tony?
If Jason Tatum plays like the media, well, I can't say the media have been hyping him up, but if Jason Tatum plays what we projected him to be from the day he was drafted, we all know he's supposed to be the next one in line, the Larry Bird, Paul Pierce, Jason Tatum. You didn't think so, man? I didn't think it in the beginning. But I will say this, Jason Tatum, my thing with the Jays has always been this. Jaylen Brown has the mentality of a first option, but he doesn't have the skill set. Jason Tatum has the skill set of a first option, but he doesn't have the mentality. If you mash these dudes up in some kind of, a melting pot, it would probably be one of the best players ever. But the fact that they are like, 50-50, I'm going to need Jason Tatum to adopt some of that mentality, just be a dog, get to the rim, because I think, a couple of times if he gets roughed up going to the rim, he'll just, settle for threes and shoot 14 threes, hit 4 of them, and just shoot you out the game. But if Jason Tatum, again, to get that mid-range, he was showing a little post game in this playoff series. I don't know if that's because they've been playing injured teams and, he has the advantage. But I would love to see a little bit more post game from him. Just come off the 3-point line, man. I think Boston Celtics, if they can get a MVP Jason Tatum, I know Mally gonna probably have his criticism. I think they can make it work. I think they can make it work, man. JT can't let us down, because in 2022, I was looking for him. I couldn't find Jason Tatum anywhere. And it was kind of. He was 24 back then, but I think now he's a little bit more developed. So if he can ball out. Banner 18 will be raised.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it simple. I heard some things that people were saying about Boston, and then I looked at these stats, and what I saw was they rebound the hell out of that ball. Like, I'm looking at all these stats. You got Pritchard, 11 points, 5 rebounds. I'm just looking at them. I'm like, damn, the whole team is rebounding. And I think that's the issue, is that everybody the problem with NBA, they don't never want to say team. They always want to say, hey, this person right here needs to step up. Like, I've been hearing stuff of guys saying, because he getting paid this much, but he's not better than this guy. It's stupid stuff. Like, man, as a team, because they didn't have Porzingis, and everybody was like, well, guess they would blah 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 if they had Porzingis. Like, I wonder if they play better without him. But I guess they saying having him is better, because they are a great conditioned team. They beat the Pacers by just staying aggressive and had a steady flow. You know what I mean? They never stopped. If you really pay attention, they never stopped. They'd be down by 20, and they still was able to come back. You know what I mean? So I put stay aggressive. They one of the best conditioned team, and I said, keep rebounding the ball. I think that's going to be the key. They get 40. They average in the playoffs 46.3 rebounds, and in the playoffs so far. And offensive is 10, defensive is 34. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. And then the Mavs is 43.1, offensive 11, and defensive is 31. So just stay aggressive and keep rebounding, and just keep doing that, and stay consistent. And don't worry about if you miss a shot and this and that. Just keep going, man. Just keep going. I think that's gonna be it. Like, what else can you do? They play defense. Like I said, that's it. What else can you do? What else can you really do? Like, you've been there before. It's not, you can't really. I mean, the biggest thing is, which we really gonna be watching, is how really they gonna play with Porzingis in the playoffs. Like, even Porzingis, like, what has he done in the playoffs? No disrespect. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're making a point, bro. Because Porzingis ain't proved nothing. He ain't proved nothing to nobody.
What I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there, like, like I hear what everybody's saying. I'm not dissing Porzingis, but he's always, to me, been a problem. Like, when have you said, "Oh man, well, Porzingis was such and such. They had the greatest chemistry." Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I'm gonna tell you something. Probably when they sit him down is when he take a break. That's probably when they're gonna be really playing. Anyway, rebounding. That's our main thing, is just keep rebounding the game. Keep rebounding. Make sure y'all hit those boards.
Amen.
Yeah. I think for Boston to win, I definitely think Tatum and, I should say the Jays, and also just I think even the Celtics in general, they got to get to the basket. Obviously, I look at Jason Tatum in their matchup against the Mavericks in January. I think he had a season high 19 free throw attempts. I definitely think he needs to get to the basket. I'll kind of talk about his struggles, in the Mavericks portion of it. So I look at that. Drew Holiday, I definitely think if he can contain Kyrie Irving, I think that's going to be one of the biggest keys. I think and we also know, can the Celtics, can they tire out Luka and Kyrie defensively? I think that's another key. I think if they can get them kind of to a point where they are essentially like tire themselves out, you know, that's going to potentially help them as far as help Boston on their end, while Kyrie and them are struggling offensively to get shots up and what have you. So I definitely think if they tire them out, I think this could be a situation where I think this can bode well for them, because obviously that duo, when they're on their own, and if you can kind of stop them in some type of instance, you got the upper hand for sure.
May I say this real quick, big bro?
Oh,
Because I didn't notice this the first night. You know, when they closed the series, them fools, Luka and Kyrie had 72 points. The Dallas Mavericks as a team had 52. That's Jason Kidd and everybody else in Texas had 52 points. Them fools literally won Game 5 by themselves. You know what I mean? Outscored. I think at one point it was Kyrie and Luka had 49 in the first half, and then like, yeah, and the Minnesota Timberwolves had 42. It was like, what?
And you know, you brought up a good point.
Right.
Yeah, and that's scary because I swear, because Luka scored like 22 in that first half. And that by far was like, to me, it was like one of the quietest first halves. I'm like, damn, I just sat there on Game 5, like, damn, he got 22 points already. And it's almost like it was like in the blink of an eye. And like I said, that Game 5 was scary. And I think that's kind of one of those where it's like they put them to sleep early. It's like, you know, that's when you get to a point, you Minnesota, okay, what's for dinner?
In your crib. It came in your crib. Put you to sleep, ate your food, and left.
Right.
Man, never seen nothing like that. Honestly, in all my years watching, I've never seen a team. I've never seen a team just come in and just get it done early. I thought Minnesota was going to make it 7. I mean, I was talking crazy online for a little while, but that's why I'm worried for Boston, man, because you know Boston will lay an egg. No problem.
That's because they play better without Rudy, man. Nobody want to say it. But like I said last week, I said I went back and looked at game 2. They put Anderson there. Anderson is a point guard, like slow-mo, so he can he helping them that's holding the ball. He's doing the picks. He played 1 through 5, and I was like, that's why they could switch. They was just doing better with him, and you know, because they can all move their feet. You know, Rudy can't really move his feet. Rudy's good. He's kind of like AD. He's really good with coming from your blind side to block your shot, you know what I mean, or make you mess your shot up, you know what I mean. So I think that OKC, I think that OKC series, I think that might have helped the Mavericks grow.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. I think sometimes when you're in the playoffs, you get your confidence up and y'all gel. You start trusting other players. Like, oh man, PJ Washington got 30-something points. Oh, you know what I mean. And everybody have like what's it? Jay Green made some points. You know what I mean. Like I think in the playoffs that's what ended up happening. So like, you know, I think they dangerous. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this OKC and this Boston is almost like an older version of OKC, a more mature version of OKC in a sense. So it's kind of one of those where it's going to be really interesting how it all plays out. So let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. So Dallas Mavericks will win their 3rd NBA championship if what you got, Tony?
If Jason Kidd keep Jason kidding, that man is doing some coaching. And I was really just breaking down some tape. Watching, I forget who it was on. I forget who it might have been ESPN, but they was displaying how Jason Kidd sets up the offense at the half, literally in the half court area. He does that so you can't double Kyrie or Luka. You know, a lot of people are gonna try to immediately come, and it spaces the floor out instantly. If you ever notice, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively do not leave the dunk spot. You know, they come set a pick and they go right to that dunk spot because it helps. Well, as far as how they was breaking it down on the game tape, it just helps keep the court spread. And once Kyrie and Luka, they can get their offense in within 5, 6, 10 dribbles if they want to. Whether it's getting to the rim, mid range, 3-pointer. So. As much as we talk about Luka, Kyrie, I love those guys. I think that Jason Kidd ain't really getting his proper flowers because, we all know he won as a player for the Dallas Mavericks, the opportunity to win as a coach as well. And he's actually not just one of those lame duck coaches. He got 2 Hall of Famers, 2 world-class elite closers, but he's actually still putting pen to pad and coaching his guys and getting them motivated. Another thing, Kyrie spoke highly of Tyronn Lue a little bit, at times, but I've never heard Kyrie speak about a coach the way he's talking about Jason Kidd. As far as I listen to Jason Kidd, Kyrie gave Steve Nash and that other coach in Brooklyn the hardest time. So if you can get Kyrie to listen and buy in, and of course I'm sure Luka bought in as well. Just listening to all of Dirk stories, I'm pretty sure Jason Kidd gave him a lot of Dirk stories to motivate him. And I'm scared I'm getting a little long with it, big bro. But I think Jason Kidd, if he keeps coaching the way he is, Dallas Mavericks gonna walk into a championship.
Yeah, and like you said, and shout out to Kenny Atkinson, man. They gave him a raw deal. Hopefully, he'll be a coach in the next coaching cycle in 2025. Shout out to our guy.
I agree with you on that, bro. He got KD and Kyrie and James Harden. Oh God.
Oh God, Kenny Atkinson.
That's true. It's the Nets, man. They known for doing stupid stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which guy, Mal?
What I put down here? Basically, man, as long as Luka and Kyrie just do what they do, they're gonna be all right. Cause it's gonna open up for those 4 players. That they're gonna open. It's gonna open up for Lively. It's gonna open up for D Jones, Gafford. Like, you know what I mean? I just think if I had to pick between the two, I'm looking at Luka and Kyrie as the more dynamic duo. I mean, truth be told, I'm paying attention to Boston and Jaylen Brown coming out of his mouth kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, Jason Tate finally woke up, and then when he got that finals MVP, I don't want to be that guy to throw the narrative out there. But I know what I seen, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, Jaylen Brown won final MVP. And he should have, but I'm like, Tatum, or you can look at it like this might be Boston's year because, Tatum won the NBA All-Star weekend, MVP. So I could be positive, but I just feel like as long as if Luka ain't making his shots like he is, and he eventually will find his shot. He needs to make his free throws. Because one thing they may do, they may foul him. They're going to be physical, and if you in Boston playing, they going, and you're not going to get all the calls, So Kyrie needs to do what he do, get to the free throw line, knock down his free throws. Kyrie, we can't have no 12 points, not in this one. We got to get that 25. You know what I mean? And like I said, in the supporting cast, they definitely this is a big thing for Jason Kidd too. You know what I mean? To be the head coach of all the negative stuff the Bucks said about him when he was a coach. So hopefully, like I really want to see if he's going to do something with Tim Hardaway Jr. And you know what I mean? Because he's been on the bench, and I wonder if he's gonna slide him in there. But I just think long as the two stars step up and do what they do, I think everything is gonna open up for them. Also, again, rebounding. I think if you out rebound, because like you said, more mature OKC. One thing OKC did, they shot that 3-pointer well. I think if you hit the boards and out rebound, don't give them offensive rebounds. Don't get them, because that's one thing they did against the Pacers. It was a bunch of open rebounds, and I'm like, what is Miles Turner doing? So definitely out rebound him, and I think everything will fall into place.
Yeah, I think with the Mavericks, I think one thing that I talked about it in the Celtics, as far as I know, I talked about how Tatum and them need to get to the basket. I think if Dallas forces them to do mid-range, I think he's going to potentially be a problem for Boston, especially Jason Tatum, unless he overcomes it, because I think he's shooting 33% from mid-range in the playoffs. So it's kind of one of those where I like if he continues on that trajectory, there's going to be some nights that he's going to be off. I mean, that's if we're playing by the averages to keep it a buck. So I definitely think if they can kind of contain the paint area, I definitely think and force them in those mid-range shots, and it could be skewed in as the series progress. I think if they look at it from a strategy, hey, if they beat us on the mid-range one night, we'll take it. Then 3 days later we'll try to employ another strategy. I think, so I look at it from that standpoint. I think, and I look at just their supporting cast. I think they're going to be the ones when their situation, especially when they go home. Like, will they step up? Obviously, we think about games 3, 4, potentially 6 if the series does extend that far. Who will be those guys? If, we look at who will be the unsung heroes in those games. Essentially, when you look at could it be Maxey? Could it be PJ? Could it be Daniel Gafford? Could it be those guys that can potentially step up? And that definitely think it's a heavy dose of Kyrie and Luka. I definitely like to talk about it ad nauseum, where essentially when they're on, and it's something that you can really stop. Like we talked about Game 5, when Game 5 was like a buzzsaw, like to the point where it was over at halftime. It was one of those where we all knew, hey, the season was over. I mean, if I was the guys from Minnesota, I get that little black trash bag and start putting stuff in my locker and kind of, hey, take some of it. Get the equipment. Got to put one of them bags in my car at halftime so I can get the hell out of here before it's over. It was that bad in game.
Beat the traffic.
Right.
Yeah, but
I'm cleaning out my lot tonight. It's that bad. Like, Coach Finch, I don't care what you're saying. Like, give me another bag, Coach. Fucking pack up all my deodorants and body wash, shoes. It was that terrible. But yeah, that's what I think ultimately going to be the keys for the Dallas Mavericks to win their third NBA championship. So, got prediction time. So, fellas, we got to go into our predictions. So, who's going to win the NBA Finals? And in how many games? What you got, Tony?
Come on, Tony.
Big bro, I always got my pocket and I got my heart. You know what I mean? A lot of people say they mind in it. I got my money on the Boston Celtics. I got money on the Celtics. But what I've seen from Kyrie and Luka, man, and like I say, I was a Luka critic at the beginning of the 2024 playoffs. I am a believer. So my heart is with the Dallas Mavericks. But again, I'm gonna stick to my what I've been saying. I'm gonna stay consistent. I've been putting a lot of pressure on the Jays. I've been supporting them for like the last, I'm gonna be frank. I've been loving Jaylen Brown since day one. I've always loved him. Jason Tatum has kind of grown on me. So again, I just want to support these young fellas, and hopefully they are able to, get the job done. Got a couple dollars on that, but I got Boston in 6, big bro, just because I'm committed to it. But my heart is saying Dallas in 5. yeah, I got Boston. I've been saying Boston since 6 since I did a show with my boy Darian Hopkins. Shout out to the D Hopkins show. So we did our early.
D Hop, our brother. Yeah. Raider Nation stands up. I got D Hop. Yeah, yes, sir. Shout out D Hop.
Pray for Raider Nation.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Aiden O'Connell.
yeah, man. But me and bro, we did that early NBA prediction. I'm gonna go Boston in 6.
Okay, so okay, we just making sure. So with your brain, you got the Celtics in 6. So we put it on the graphic. If you Javante Porter, you said Mavericks in 5, right? Okay.
No. Jonte Porter. I'm putting my bet on Boston in 6. I'm willing to be banned for that. So Boston in 6.
For the graphic, we Boston in 6. All right. So Mal, what you got?
Let me stop. I got the Dallas Mavericks. Honestly, I'm gonna be bold. I was gonna say 6, but I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5. I think they can get 1. But I'm gonna say 5.
Western Conference Finals Part 2 now.
Yeah,
I know, right? Ooh, well, right.
Yeah, it was calling Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan 2 weeks ago.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
Lord have mercy.
You gotta stop doing that, really.
Hey, that's what happens. That's the media. They chew you out and spit you out. Pause. But
every time,
But yeah, that's what they do every time, right? So yeah, I got the Celtics in 6. So Celtics fans will be like, we're gonna win in Dallas, but we're gonna go to the Harbor and have a championship at that, and and take an Uber to the harbor for the party. So I think Dallas gonna win this.
I like that accent, that Boston
Ain't
accent.
no way in hell I want Boston to win and get what 19? What does it be? 18 or 19?
18.
18.
18 at the party.
Ain't no way I'm picking them. Nah, not yet, yo. Not
Yeah.
yet, yo.
I can't wait.
Nah.
I can't wait.
Nah, not yet.
We have a party with Walter McCarty.
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder. and take a don't drive your car. Take an Uber.
I can't even do the Boston accent, bro. I was listening to. They got a Sam Adams commercial with Derek White and like a Boston fan. You seen that? And
I want to see that. I'm gonna do some research.
It's a good commercial. Like it's a very dope commercial, NBA Finals commercial. But in the commercial, the Boston fan is trying to teach Derek White how to talk like a Boston Knight. I can't do it, man. That accent is too strong, brother.
Oh man. Oh, that'd be wicked fun.
You got it too, man. I'm like, hey, it sound Boston to me.
Bobby Brown. Yeah, my mom came with her car. What did she say?
She said that's when I didn't have a car. Because I'm not used to Bobby Brown having an accent. That's what was so crazy about that. I was like, it just threw me off. Was like, what?
Bobby Brown from Boston?
Yes. I'll be the last. What? Look. Him and Johnny Wahlberg, because New Kids on the Block is from there too. They used to date the same girl from the Roxbury Projects. That's crazy, ain't it?
Wow. Small world. Small Boston.
For sure.
And once you catch the accent, it's hard because even if you listen to their music, you can start hearing little, like for instance, listen to what video is that? The All Night Long joint, the little slow song when he was talking to the lady, he was like, "It's okay, thickness. Just catch the flight." Like, you know what I'm saying? He said it so I was like, all I think about is him. Because he was like, man, I was tripping when I heard Bobby Brown say, my mom run the car. I was like, what?
Right.
Oh, that's funny, bro.
Crazy.
It's like young Bobby Brown and talking about, I had to go to the studio, but I didn't have my car. Like,
yeah, my God.
What?
Oh my God.
Wow, but that was so wow. Yeah, man. So this wraps up our NBA Finals preview. So